The Gwaltney Group.
The following is a sponsored program paid for by Robin Gwaltney. Gwaltney Group. RE/MAX results. Welcome to Rochester Real Estate, featuring Robin Gwaltney from Gwaltney Group-RE results and Andy Brownell. Here's Andy Brownell on Rochester's News Talk, 1340 KROC AM and 96.9 FM.
Good morning, everyone. Looks like a lovely weekend ahead of us. I'm Andy Brownell, and I'm with Robin Gwaltney, Gwaltney Group-RE results, as I always am on Saturday mornings. Hi, Robin.
Hey, good morning. I apologize if I sound a little sniffly, but oh my goodness, these allergies are nuts.
It's thick. The pollen is thick. If I go outdoors within 3 minutes, my eyes are watering.
Oh, I just swear, I've only noticed this the past couple of years, so I think it's just the older I get, the more sensitive I have become to this. Because as a kid, I was always outside, and I don't remember ever being bothered, and I know exactly what happened to me this week. I was at a inspection, and the buyers brought their little kids, and the little 3-year-old was getting a little rambunctious. He wasn't having it. He didn't want anything to do with that inspection. So I took him outside, and the lot next to the house had kind of tall grass and a bunch of dandelions. So I said, "Oh, let's pick some flowers for your mom." So we were out there picking flowers, picking dandelions, and then the ones that were just white and fuzzy, we were blowing them and playing bubbles. And probably 30 minutes later, I was like, stuck.
Yeah.
I'm like, dang it. So, yeah, apologize if I sound ridiculous.
I think you're right, though. Not necessarily about you and I getting older. It's when we were growing up, I grew up without air conditioning. My vehicles didn't have air conditioning.
Right.
So,
yeah.
Once it was warm out, all the windows were open everywhere.
Yeah.
And now, not so much.
Oh, you know what? You're probably on to something. But, yeah, I just absolutely am a mess. And I was so embarrassed because I was at a listing appointment yesterday, and I would start to talk, and all of a sudden I'd get completely, like I didn't have air. I couldn't breathe through my nose, and I was talking too much. I couldn't breathe through my mouth, and I'm like, oh. She's like, "Are you okay?" I'm like, "Yeah, I'm fine." I don't feel sick. I mean, I don't.
No, I think it's the allergies. I'm running into a lot of people who are doing the same thing. You can just see their eyes are bleary, and
most of the time during the week I've been too busy to even notice that I'm stuffed up. I just keep blowing my nose and moving on to the next thing because it has been so busy. Oh wow. Yeah, yesterday was like just a record-breaking day. I literally had appointments 7 a.m., 8 a.m., 2 at 9, 2 at 10, 11, 12, 1, 2, 4, and then the Jeremiah Gala to boot. So, yeah.
That's crazy.
It's a really good market. Really busy, really good. The buyers are out there. And, yes, people are calling me right and left and saying, you know, how is this going to affect? I've been reading that the feds have decided to not lower the rates this year, and it was supposed to happen in June. Then they said maybe fall, and now they're saying maybe not at all. And I said, oh boy, you know what my dad used to say? If ifs and buts were candy and nuts, we'd all have a Merry Christmas. Well, we can't worry about
that's out of your control.
What's out of our control. And I still say I'm seeing people locking in at 6.5, 6 3/4. We're seeing more 5-year arms, you know, things like that. People are buying houses. Trust me, people are buying houses. Here we are. I think we're like 128 days into the year, something like that. And I think we're at like 122 transactions. So we're going to stay on pace for a deal a day, and I'm feeling it.
You mentioned these headlines that people are seeing. It was earlier this week. One day I saw the headline. Fed's inaction hints that rate cuts might not be coming. The next day, another publication said, cooling jobs market indicates cuts could be coming soon.
Yeah. It depends on whose perspective you're hearing it from. Just like everybody talks about, I had one guy at work who has just a little different opinion of how the world is than I do, right? And he said, well, this economy is so terrible. And I'm like, I don't know. Is it? I was watching the news and they said that 30% of the people who attended the Taylor Swift concert in Paris
Yeah.
Not in New York City, but
I
in
read this too.
30% of the people at the concert were from the United States.
Yeah, because they could get the tickets cheaper
Yeah.
in Paris.
With an airfare and hotel and ticket, it was cheaper to go to Paris. And
I read that too.
Isn't that crazy? And not that it's still cheap. I mean, we're still talking if mom and daughter went to Paris. I saw one couple, they were being interviewed, not couple, but a mom and a daughter were being interviewed that the daughter was graduating from college, and so they decided to forego her college graduation and go to the concert instead. So she was missing out on graduation and going to the concert, and they said by the time we paid the airfare, the hotel, and the tickets, it was so cheap. They said we only spent like $8,000, and I'm like, that's not
a concert.
It's not that cheap, people. So it's definitely not sounding like we're living in a world of hurt. And are some people? Absolutely. But I think to say that the whole entire economy is gloom and doom is not true.
I think at the lower end, the folks who are in the low end of the pay scale, this inflation has hurt them really badly.
Well, that's always the case, right? It's always the case. And it's sad because what we're seeing is where we belong, I mean, where we live and survive in the middle class, it's becoming kind of smaller and smaller, right? There's people that are getting richer and richer, and then there's people who are getting poorer and poorer, and that's not a good sign. So that's definitely painful. Well,
it depends on your perspective of that, too, because I think what you're seeing is a lot of people who previously were solidly middle class are moving up into the wealthy side of the category.
Yeah, you're right.
And people are moving into the middle class. And I do think that very, very low end is shrinking.
Well, I hope so.
I hope so too.
Because it's not, I mean, it's a shame to see anybody, needing and wanting life's necessities, getting your basic needs met. And you wouldn't think in the country we live in that there would be such an abundance of that, for sure. So I
have to ask you about something before we take a break pretty soon. Not yet. We have time.
Okay.
This is social media. You had posted something that you had 2 closings coming up, and it was pictures of the doorways to the homes all decorated.
Oh, gosh. You haven't noticed that before? You're always on my Facebook page. Come on.
No, I was like, that's really cool. I didn't know you did that.
Oh, yeah. So we like to call our customer service Red Ribbon Concierge. Okay? So, in other words, if you think of how I started the whole Red Ribbon, I kind of copied Lexus. I hope somebody doesn't call me and sue me now. But you know how Lexus used to do that commercial where they put that big bow on the car? Well, when we bought our son his first car, for graduation, it was a very used IS250 Lexus. And to be honest, I bought it from a client who was going through a divorce, and it was her second car, and she needed to sell it to buy a house. And I'm like, well, I need to buy a car. He didn't need to have that car. But anyway, it all worked out. And so I went out to the Lexus dealership, and they were sweet enough to get me one of those big red bows, right? So I remember putting it on the car, and I remember him getting off the bus from their last baseball game and their last playoff baseball game of the season, his senior year. And he saw that car, and he's like, I just knew it was for me, Mom. And I'm like, how did you know that? And he goes, because you're that mom that would go get that bow and put it on the car. And he goes, I just knew it. And I'm like, okay, you know what? I am that mom. I am that person. I am that friend. I am that realtor. I like to go the extra mile. It makes me feel good. So you've heard me say so many times that customer service is what I'm all about. And boy, oh boy, I mean that. And we are so proud that we always take it to the next level. So when we say Red Ribbon Concierge, we mean from the time you start working with us until the day you close and beyond, we're going to go well above and beyond and do everything we can to not only make your experience less stressful. Everybody's like, well, take the stress out of it. I want to put the joy into it. It's not just about making it not stressful. It's about making it fun. I mean, buying a house or selling a house is a big deal. It shouldn't be stressful. It should be an amazing experience because it's something you're going to remember. You remember every time you bought or sold a house. And I know you haven't done it for a long time, but I bet you still remember the joy of buying your house, right? It's a big
Absolutely. Deal. It was an awesome day.
So I like to enhance that. And so one of the things we do right before closing is we wrap the front door like a gift box. We run red ribbon up the entire door, across the entire door. We have these great big red bows that are custom made for us. And then we have ordered these big cardboard tags that are about, a foot and a half long. And they say, congratulations from the Gwaltney Group. And then we wrap the door, put the bow on it, hang the tag on it. And then we have a little sign that's shaped like a house that says welcome. And then, John and Maria or the such and such family or whoever bought the house. And so when they come to their home for the first time, they're greeted by their welcome sign and then their door wrapped nice. And depending on the situation, maybe part of the closing gift for that particular person was pots of flowers, whatever. So we like to do it up right to the end, and it always leaves them with a really good feeling. I like to do it because I've told you this before on the show. Before I go to do the final walkthrough, I always want to go and walk through myself. So there's no big surprises at the walkthrough. Make sure nothing was left dirty or grimy or people didn't take something with them that they were supposed to, or worse yet, they took something with them that they weren't supposed to. So if I can get any of those kind of potential issues resolved before the buyer walks in, it just puts more joy into their transaction. So that's what that's all about.
Nice. It was funny, the Lexus commercials, I used to see those and scoff at them and go, nobody does that. Robin does, though.
Well, Robin does. Robin does.
We have to take a break. We'll be back in a moment. We're with Robin Gwaltney, Gwaltney Group RE/MAX Results on News Talk 1340 KROC AM and 96.9 FM.
We'll be right back with Robin Gwaltney and Andy Brownell on Rochester Real Estate. This is News Talk 1340 KROC AM and 96 FM. To Rochester Real Estate with Robin Gwaltney from Gwaltney Group RE/MAX Results and Andy Brownell on Rochester's News Talk 1340 KROC AM and 96.9 FM.
Welcome back. Robin Gwaltney, Gwaltney Group RE/MAX Results here at News Talk 1340 KROC AM and 96.9 FM. You've been busy as all get out this week, Robin. Was part of the busyness perhaps some new listings?
Oh, yeah. We got a couple new listings, and I've got a couple more coming. I've actually had, I think we literally, by next week, if they don't sell before the weekend, I think I should have at least a half a dozen, maybe 7 or 8 new listings. But
nice.
Because those haven't been, they're all still in the process of getting them ready for the pictures and stuff. We haven't signed them. So according to the rules of the MLS, I can't talk out loud or online or anywhere else except for within RE/MAX. I've explained that to you before, right?
Yeah, this whole coming soon business.
Well, yeah, so that's one thing, and I'll talk about that, because people, actually, I was at a listing appointment yesterday, and she's like, tell me about that, and why do you do that? So we'll talk about that first.
Okay.
So coming soon, that's a thing that you can do where you say, okay, here is a listing. It's kind of like giving it the big debut. Here it is, something that a lot of people are looking for. Let's say it's a $350,000 cute as can be, 3-bed, 2-bath house in a really popular neighborhood. Well, there's a lot of buyers for that. Okay. So you can either just put it on the market and say, fend for yourself, first come, first serve, whoever brings me an offer. So let's say I do it that way and I put the house on the market on Friday morning. Some Johnny on the spot sees it and they get right in there and they make an offer. So now the seller says, first person who saw my house gave me a really good offer, full price, maybe even a little above. What should I do? And I say, well, you agreed to sell your house for this price. And I explained to you that time is of the essence. So we definitely need to, we can't stew on this. We're not going to sit all weekend long and wait for offers to pile up. Oh, can't I do that because my friend did that or my neighbor did that? You can do that. Is that the right way to do it? No. When I sat down with you for the listing, I explained time is of the essence. So I feel it's the right and responsible thing to do. There's no outline about what is that time. Is it 15 minutes, 4 hours, 24 hours, 48 hours? But I feel like 24 hours is a pretty good number.
Okay. That's reasonable,
to that. So say that I get my first offer at 10 a.m. on Friday. I put the thing on the market at 8 o'clock, and 10 o'clock I've already got an offer in my hand. And does that happen? It happens. So now I've already got 3-4 other showings scheduled for today, and we have an open house scheduled for tomorrow. And the seller says, well, can't we let all those people see it? What if somebody else wants to write an offer? Well, of course you can. The seller gets to tell me how they want to do it. If they said, can't we wait until next weekend and see how many we can collect during this week? No, time is of the essence. That would be inappropriate. I mean, put yourself in the buyer's shoes. If you wrote an offer, would you want someone to say, well, we'll get back to you in a week and let you know what we're thinking? Of course not.
What I'd be doing if I'm the person who made the offer, I'm thinking that this isn't going to happen and I'm going to start looking again.
Exactly. So what I do, and everybody does it just a little bit differently. I mean, hopefully we all do this because this is the way we're supposed to do it. As soon as I get an offer, I email it to the sellers. And I say, first offer in your inbox. Take a look at it. Call me when you can discuss. All right. Then I tell the agent, I've sent it on to the sellers. I'll let you know when they're going to discuss it. Then they'll call me and say, hey, Robin, we're both on lunch break at 12. Can we call you then on a conference call? Yes, that's fine. Do that. So then when they call, they say, well, what about all these other showings that are scheduled? Can we wait? I say, you can, but let's do this. Let's set up a time that you would be comfortable making a final decision. So we have an open house scheduled for tomorrow from 1 o'clock until 3 o'clock. Would you be fine saying all offers are due by 3:30 tomorrow afternoon, and then I'll meet with you guys at 4 o'clock. We'll go over the offers, and you'll pick the best offer. And they'll say, yeah, that's reasonable. So then the next thing I would do is I would put that out on the MLS and say, all offers are due by 3:30 tomorrow, and, then I'll meet with the sellers at 4, whatever. So I just give people information as I can so people know what the expectations are. Nothing is worse than sitting back and waiting, wondering, when am I going to hear back from this agent? When is this agent going to talk to the sellers?
Oh, gosh.
It's communication is so important in life in general, but when you're in the middle of these, very time sensitive things, the communication is such a big piece. So I always say, as close to 24 hours. Now, obviously, if they got the offer at 10 in the morning and we're not looking until 4 the next day, that's more than 24 hours, but it's not a huge amount. So you have to just kind of look at what's scheduled, what's on the books. If they would have said, should we also wait until Sunday to do that open? My personal response, my opinion is no, I don't think that's in anybody's best interest, because we already know we have one good offer. We've had a lot of showings. We've got an open house tomorrow. Chances are we're going to have more than one good offer based on the fact that the first person brought us this offer. So no sense to prolong it. All we're going to do is get more offers, and you only can sell the house to one person. So if you're getting what you're looking for and it's even better, then what are we waiting for? So a bird in the hand is better than 2 in the bush, right? Let's just get this going. Because I have seen, as a matter of fact, I've been on the end where I wrote an amazing offer. It was all cash. It was quite a bit over the listing price. And the agent said, my sellers want to wait until Sunday to look at all offers because they think they're going to get a lot. And I'm like, wow, are they going to get better than this? So I said, okay, that's fine. So then I told that to my buyer, and she's like, yeah, I don't play games. Can't rescind my offer. So I rescinded her offer, and I saw that they sold it for $10,000 less than the offer I had given them. So it doesn't always work in your favor to wait for more offers. More is not always better.
I can see that, especially
having a strategy and a plan.
If you're the buyer and you come in with this shock and awe offer because you really want to move forward, and then, as you said, they're playing games with me, I can understand why they'd withdraw.
Right. And so that's why I like to get back to that agent right away and say, okay, this is the deal. We've got X number of showings scheduled. We've got this open house scheduled tomorrow. We have canceled our open house for Sunday, but they would like at least until this time to make a decision. And I promise you, if other offers come in, I will let you know. So now you know if you're competing against more. And they just love it. They love that I'm communicating. They say, okay, Robin, no problem. I've done deals with you before. I trust you. I know you're good for your word. This is awesome. And that's it. Just keep that keep that line of communication open, and I think as transparent as you can be, while, of course, still working as hard for the seller as possible, because that's our job.
So have you ever had it where the offer comes in at 10 o'clock in the morning and the seller goes, all right, let's go. Let's just, because that's me. I'm going, the selling thing is a hassle to me. I'm like, this is great. Let's take it. Let's go.
And you know what? I actually had a seller who said, Robin, I am not looking. I go, you guys, you want to take the first offer? You have 12 showings scheduled today. And they said, we do. And we have a newborn. And we're not excited about being out of the house all day with a newborn. Our dog's at the kennel. I worked very late last night at the hospital. I would like to sign this offer. I would like you to cancel all the rest of the showings. And I would like to go home with my baby, pick up the dog, and take a nap. I'm like, you know what? You're the boss. So every situation, you and I have talked about this before. It's not always about money. It's not always about can it be. I mean, believe me, that money was well over the ask and it was a very good offer. But it's going to be different circumstances for every single seller, like different motivators, different things that they find appealing. Like I have sold houses off market many, many times. Like I've been called to a listing appointment. I get there and I say, oh my gosh, this would be perfect for my buyer. If you're okay, I'll bring them in. And they say, sure. And then I bring them in and I say, well, this is what we were going to list for. You know, do you want to pay that? I'm not comfortable letting them offer less without taking the house to the market, because then I feel like I'm not doing a good job for my seller. After all, I came up with the price, right? So then I take it to the seller and I say, you have the option. You can sign this offer. You can counter this offer. And they said, we can ask for more than we were asking. I said, you can if you want. You're asking them to remove the risk of being in multiple offers. You get to do whatever you want. This is the same advice I give every seller. You can accept it, you can reject it, or you can counter it. And that's always the case. And I mean, 9 times out of 10, when I put somebody in this position, they just simply sign it, accept it, and say, you know what? Now I don't have to put up with one single person coming through my house. I don't have to make sure my bed is made perfectly and I put everything back in its place, because some people, life is a really busy time and they would rather just click, have it done. Sometimes it's because they have their eye on another property that they want to buy. So like, okay, I can go in and say that offer is contingent upon a successful closing, not a successful sale. So it makes their other offer more. So I could get every situation is going to be different. The seller's going to be motivated by different things.
And that's why you want that experienced person on your side.
Thank you. That's correct. And I've been in situations where other agents will say to me, but you're not doing a service for your sellers, because maybe they would have gotten in multiple offers and maybe they would have gotten even more. And I said, maybe and maybe not. That's the decision I give them to make. And I say, if you're not open to showing this ahead of time, then let's not. Let's just put it on the market. And that's where the coming soon comes into play, because I say, if you want to be even more aggressive and really try to drum up some business, so to speak, really get the attention of a lot of buyers, because you know that first situation where I said the offer came in at 10 in the morning? Well, in that situation, there's going to be people that see the listing online for the first time when it says under contract. And they're going to be like, what? I didn't even see that one. When did that come and go? And I missed it. So with the coming soon, we'll put it on there with like maybe a 3-day, 5-day, something like that window. It can be whatever works out best. Saying, okay, you can see it today. It's Monday. You can see all the beautiful pictures. You can see the description, the price, everything. But what you can't do is see it physically, because it's only a coming soon. And it's going to be first available for showings on Friday. And so if you want to see it, you got to call your agent, schedule an appointment for Friday. If you're not working with an agent, you're not under contract. I'm not just going to say under contract, but if you're not already in a relationship with an agent, then you have the right to just call the listing agent, schedule an appointment. If the listing agent is, willing to show it to you, they will. You can say, is there any open houses? But no matter what, you can't get in there before that date. Even if I have the listing and you call me and you say, hey, I don't have an agent. I'll work with you. Can you get me in there right away? I don't want to wait till Friday. The answer is a big fat no. It's called coming soon. Nobody can show it, not even the listing agent. And why do you think that is? Because we want to line them up out the door.
Sure.
We want 15 appointments on the books before that thing even hits the market. Usually when those coming soons happen, the sellers just make plans this is a great weekend to go to the lake or just get out of here. And there can be showings all day Saturday, all day Sunday. There can be open houses, whatever it takes. But we don't want to be any part of it.
All right. That's the weekend they go to Paris to see Taylor Swift.
There you go. You got a good plan.
Not for me. Okay, we have to take a break. We'll be back in just a moment. Robin Gwaltney, Gwaltney Group RE/MAX results on News Talk 1340 KROC AM and 96.9 FM.
We'll be right back with Robin Gwaltney and Andy Brownell on Rochester Real Estate. This is News Talk 1340 KROC AM and 96.9 to Rochester Real Estate with Robin Gwaltney from Gwaltney Group RE/MAX results and Andy Brownell on Rochester's News Talk 1340 KROC AM and 96.9 FM.
We're back with Robin Gwaltney, Gwaltney Group RE/MAX results. Robin, we got into a great discussion, but you said you have some new listings.
I do. Let me talk about some of them. I know we only have a couple minutes here, but some of the hot listings that we have right now. 4427 Archon Lane Northwest. It's a 3-bed, 2-bath, just under 2,400 square foot house with a 2-car garage, and it's listed right in that sweet spot of $330,000.
Nice, yeah.
Yes, new listing yesterday. 911 Phelps Avenue. That one is over in Wabasha, but again, it's in a really sweet price range, $224,900. 3 beds, 1 bath, just under 1,000 square feet, but it has a 3-car garage. That's for those guys that have that priority of who cares about the house. Give me a good garage. And then we have out in Orinoco. We actually have a couple of really cute houses out in Orinoco. 110 6th Lane Northeast. This one is 4 beds, 2 baths, 2,623 square feet. It's got a 2-car garage, but then it also has a great big shed. And this one's $529,900. I did receive a text this morning saying that I'm expecting an offer, but I haven't seen it yet, so it's not too late. There is also one on 315 Pine Ridge Court, Southwest in Orinoco. That one is a contemporary style, if you like that, and it has a couple of acres. So if you're the guy that says, I do not want the cookie cutter house, don't show me the same old, you'll love this one. And it has a little space to roam with the 2 acres. So it's on a cul-de-sac, but the houses are far enough apart that you've got your privacy. And that one's $524,900. And we've got 1819 Daniel Lane Northeast in Stewartville. That is a townhome side-by-side, 2 beds, 2 baths, a 1-car garage, and that's $239,900. Oh, this is a beauty. Up on Shannon Oaks Boulevard, it is just a beautiful 2-story on a half an acre. It's $680,000. 4 beds, 4 baths, just pristine throughout. All the upgraded custom closets and organization, and just really easy on the eyes. Beautiful place. And I think that one is sold. So I think that's it for sweet property that's just out there ready to be bid on. Okay?
All right.
New ones coming every day. So keep checking and call if you have questions. But I'd love to help you, whether it's helping you get your house that you have currently listed and sold, or help you find a house that you're looking to buy. Or if you just have random real estate questions, I'm also willing to take those calls. So if I can help in any way, please call me on my cell phone. That number is 507-259-4926. And as always, I look forward to your calls.
All right, Robin, great. You have a wonderful rest of the weekend, and we'll talk to you next Saturday.
All right. Bye-bye.
All right, Robin Gwaltney, Gwaltney Group, RE/MAX results. This is News Talk 1340, KROC AM and 96.